Our health channel, I mean, like it's a collaboration between Blenda and I. We really love health issues and our health solution actually, and we want to share it with you.
Absolutely.
So today's topic is about some of the things that can give us low energy. And then we want to give you solutions on it. So Blenda, what do you think some of the things that, I mean, because we all want more energy in our life, right? That means we can be more productive in our life, be more joyful, right?
Yes, of course. I know we're all tired of being tired, and we've said this before.
Yes.
So here are some must-try tricks that we're going to tell you.
Yeah.
So here's why you have low energy. You might have an underlying medical condition.
Okay.
You might have a nutrient deficiency.
Yes.
Also sleep disturbances.
Yeah, that's a big one.
As well as caffeine intake.
Okay.
And chronic stress. These are some things.
That's something everybody has.
Yes. So if you have low energy and you want a better quality of life and fight that low energy, let's try these things that we're going to talk about now.
That's a great idea. I like to learn more about it.
Cool. So if you have an underlying medical condition, get checked out. You got to see a doctor. You know there's something wrong. Don't just delay it, because a lot of us, we're like, oh, let's just sweep it under the rug, delay seeing a doctor. We need to get checked out. I know Jenny's a nurse here. I'm a nutritionist. Doesn't mean we're medical professionals. We do have to seek medical help when we need it.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
Get your blood work checked.
Yeah.
Go for the lab test if the doctor tells you. Then you could take it to another professional and get it checked out.
Yeah.
I always say, take care of your health, because health is wealth.
Yeah. So true. To bounce off on Blenda on that is that it is true though. One of the things that I found with in my experience in the ER, there's a lot of it's worse with the men, from my experience. A lot of times it's that they'll wait until when it's bad, or they won't come, or their spouse nagged them to come to get checked out, right? A lot of times that the women are the one who kind of like push the men to go and get checked because they leave it to the last minute, and by the time they come, their kidneys already bad, they're like diabetes bad, they're they have high blood pressure, and then they end up having heart attacks and all that stuff, right? So a lot of times I find men, not to bash you or anything like that, but like get yourself checked, like get a regular check, because I've seen so many people like in the hospital who do that. So
and they end up in Emerge.
Yes.
What happens?
They come and see me.
They come and see Jenny in the Emerge as an emergency nurse. But if you get your yearly checkup once a year, just to do your blood work, just to see if things are normal, then you're A-okay usually.
Yeah.
Start it when you're young. I take my kids out to see the doctor every year, once a year. Not for immunization, but just for regular checkup. And I get checked out every year too, because I think it's important to be on top of your health.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what are some of the medical condition, or like some of the things that can cause you to have low energy?
Low energy, medical. So if you have blood sugar issues, if you have high blood pressure, if you have diabetes, those are some conditions that could cause low energy.
Yeah.
I know long-term, if you're not taking care of your health, it's going to cause you to be more tired.
So Blenda was mentioning about medical condition. Yeah. So one of the common thing with women, I find that more common with women, there's a lot with vegetarian as well too, especially vegetarian women. So that anemia is quite a common thing. We're more at risk because of our period. It's from especially those who are at the birthing reproductive years, right? And what I find is that there's certain techniques that are useful, which Blenda will go into further details of what we can do in order to help with how to reduce our risk of anemia.
Right now I have a client that's vegan, so
yeah,
we have to be careful and watch out, and
yes,
I always tell her to eat certain foods or add
yes,
supplements just in case.
yeah,
Because if you're vegan or vegetarian,
yeah,
you're at risk.
yeah, because that can cause you to have low energy, right? If you're anemic.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Next one is a nutrient deficiency.
So we're at the grocery with my kids, and there's this Somalian lady. I think she's Somalian. She has 4 kids with her, and what I find common is that, you know, I watch people grocery shop for like what they buy because they're in front of me, right? I couldn't help it. So she had chips, candies, crackers, pita bread, more bread, lots of carbs, pretty much simple carbohydrates, right? And that was it. There was
all
no
the
fruit.
processed foods that
Yeah, no fruits, no sugar, no proteins, no like vegetables or anything like that, right?
And that's depleting, and that's stealing from you. That's stealing you're causing your body to have deficiencies because you're eating all these unnatural foods in your diet.
Yeah, no, so true what Blenda said, because what happens, what I think is that from my observations, that a lot of times people eat because certain things, because of one, money factor, 2, it's because they're not educated on the things that are actually nutritious for them, that are better for them in the long run. 3, people eat because they have this emotional, like, you know, we've been eating food makes us feel good. I don't know about you, it makes me feel good. And because especially with food with sugar in it, it triggers a dopaminergic effect. So it's one of those rewarding systems. So we feel good about it. So we eat it for emotional feelings, for social events as well too. And this idea that people have, I think most people have, is that when they eat food, they eat it to fill up their hunger so they don't feel hungry, right? But in terms of the understanding is that we don't focus on food as in how, like the Buddhists say, use food as thy medicine. I think Blenda's, you know, might agree on that.
I totally agree.
Yeah. So not many people have this idea where, especially when, you know, money is, they're worried about the money, that not many people use food as their medicine, as in they're eating it for the nutritional content that's actually supposed to help optimize their body. So that's what I notice with when I do grocery, and I notice other people, and because working in the healthcare field.
Yeah, so, when you see people that don't buy the right foods, you know, you're thinking twice, like, am I like that?
Yeah.
I used to be like that. I know.
Me too.
I like bread, yes, of course, and I like candy, but over time, I think slowly phasing those foods out of my diet has caused dramatic effects, like dramatically see the difference in my body. Now that I'm 40, it's like I see the difference. If I eat well, I feel good.
Yes.
If I eat poorly, I feel bad. Why would I want to make myself feel bad and rob myself of this energy?
Yes.
Yeah.
No, I totally agree with you, Blenda. That is so true, because think of it as building the foundation to your health, right? We're talking about energy here. So to have adequate energy, we need adequate nutrients as well. It's like you're building these basic foundation to your health so that your resources are abundant instead of depleted. Because if you have low nutrients, then you're more taxed at it, you know, your body's going to suffer over the long run.
Yeah. And I know, you know, you have that, it's just one time, but that one time turns into 2 times. And then it's a vicious cycle. Yes. You need to start with a good habit of bringing in better foods into your home. You don't have it in the home, you won't go for it. So out of sight, out of mind. I do some of the grocery shopping in the house. I try my best to bring in the best foods, cook the best and the most nutritious food as much as possible.
Yeah. Yeah, that's great.
Yeah.
So what's the, in terms of talking about nutrition, like,
Yeah. So
can you give us some tips on what, because you're specialized at this?
yeah. So like with eating poor foods, you're gonna have nutrition deficiencies.
Yeah.
So you don't want to rob yourself of the vitamins and minerals that we need to help support the cell and help support growth. So one thing is that a lot of us are B12 deficient.
Yeah.
And B12 is good for red cell production.
Yeah.
Low B12 leads to anemia, like we just talked about.
Yeah. Yeah.
So very common in vegans.
The vegetarian too.
Vegetarians. So B12 could be found in meat, fish, eggs. And of course, there are supplementations that we could think about, but I try to reach for the whole foods and the real food before reaching for supplementation.
But this might be a problem or for the vegetarian or the vegan population because, vitamin B12 is found in, like you mentioned, fish. Eggs. It's in a lot of protein. It's pretty much primarily in the protein products, right? So for them, I think supplementation of
is a must, actually.
I think also a must because that's why I see a lot of women coming in who are anemic, right? And that could be one of the solutions to help with it. Sometimes you might have to take a vitamin B12 solution, a vitamin B12 supplement.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah. Sometimes it's important to supplement to fill in that missing gap.
Yeah. So what other nutrients are there?
I really love vitamin D.
Yeah.
The sunshine vitamin.
Yeah.
We get an abundance in the summer. Like I live in Canada. We get a lot of sunshine during the summer months. Yeah. Into the spring, the fall, we still get a lot of sunshine. But moving into cooler months when it's winter, days are shorter. The sun goes down at like 5:30 in the afternoon. That's when you need to supplement. Yes. And I'm big on vitamin D supplementation because it helps with bone health, muscle health. It's also found in fatty fish. So you could try salmon, mackerel, sardines. Those are some things you could add to your diet.
I love salmon.
Salmon is so yummy. I know. I love sushi, but I like it cooked. I love salmon cooked. Very yummy. Another thing that you can do for the supplementation is do the vitamin D drop. Okay. They actually recommend it from infant to old. Really easily to absorb in your body when you do a drop compared to a tab. When you do a tablet, your body still needs to break that down.
Because the drop is in like easier absorption form.
Yes. Anything liquid is easy to absorb. Another one that we're missing in our diet is magnesium. That's a mineral. Helps with relaxation, energy production. And when we're eating too much of refined foods, processed foods, we're robbing our bodies from this mineral that we need. So if you have a lot of sugar, if you have a lot of salt, alcohol, caffeine, these items that we're adding to our diet could cause harm. That's so true. I totally agree with that. When it comes to alcohol, because there's a lot of alcoholic patient that comes into the ER, we a lot of times we have to give them magnesium sulfate as a supplement, not supplement, but like through the IV because magnesium tend to be on the low side. Yes.
So totally agree with that.
So if you're looking for foods instead of a replacement, you could try eating whole, real foods like nuts and seeds, cashews. Those are yummy. Beans, lentils, fatty fish, once again, tofu, avocados, bananas. These are great sources and they're really easy to get, right? Once again, like I'm naming very common foods again, like I'm naming fatty fish once again. So if you're eating fatty fish for vitamin D or B12.
Yeah.
And you're eating it for vitamin D, and you're going to eat fatty fish for magnesium, you may as well
The
add
omegas.
Yeah.
Don't forget the omega, which is good for your brain and the heart.
Exactly. So moving on, we're going to talk about omegas.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. So a lot of times we have too much omega-6 in our diet, and we don't have enough omega-3. The ratio is unbelievable. Omega-3 is something that we need. It's found in salmon once again.
I love salmon.
Good oils, like healthy, good oils, like olive oils, avocado oil.
Yep.
So add that.
Yeah.
Try to stay away from the vegetable oil and processed oils, like processed food, like fried food, not good for you.
Yeah.
We all know that.
Yeah. I think Blenda has a great point, because if you're actually paying attention to what she's saying, these are awesome tips. She's pretty much saying that if you're going to eat anything, eat food in its whole form, right? Meaning like it's an apple, it's salmon, it's a pear, it's avocado, it's beef, these things, not in a box, not processed, right? That's the key, like what she's saying, whole form. You need to shop the perimeter of the grocery store if you're going, and try not to go in the aisles. Yeah.
The outside of the store, you're short on time. Everybody needs to save time, right? So just shop the perimeter and jet. Like get groceries and leave. Like no one has 2 hours. No one has 2 hours to go grocery shopping, right? So just get it and go. Another one is iron.
Oh yeah,
iron is another one. Great for red blood cell production.
Yeah.
Carrying O2.
Yeah, I can go into that, because that's totally, so think of it like this. The iron cell has these, the red blood cell, this is like part of the blood component, right? It has 4 little spots where it has iron on it, and the iron sticks onto the oxygen. So think of it like this. You need the iron for the oxygen to stick onto it. So if you don't have the oxygen, that's why you're so tired. And what do we need? We need oxygen, right? Yeah. So if you're iron deficient, that's one of the reasons why you might be feeling tired.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. And you could do a iron supplement, which a lot of people do. Yeah. But you can look for food sources as well. So food sources like beef, spinach, organ meats. Yeah. Those have iron. Yeah. I know if you're vegetarian or vegan, spinach.
Dark green leafy
vegetables. Yeah.
And also in terms of helping with the iron absorption, because sometimes people eat a combination of food that are not hindering the effects of the other, right? So like in terms of anemia, we're talking about too. So iron absorbs better when there's vitamin C. So vitamin C are some of the citrusy, fruits. So like lemon, lime, grapefruit, orange, spread some of those into your green salad or onto your beef, or, like just to help with the absorption.
Yes, exactly.
Better, right? And also the one that actually hinders the iron absorption is calcium. So which I noticed that a lot of vegetarian, in my experience, I've seen the Indians, right? There's a lot of vegetarian or vegans in them, and they, for some reason, love their milk or dairy product, right? So dairy a lot of times has a lot of calcium in it, and the calcium hinders the effects of the iron. So if you're going to eat anything, avoid the dairy with the green leafy vegetables, spritz on the citrusy fruit instead, right? So just some tips that I thought I shared.
That you found, right?
Anemic women out there, huh?
I'm not a big fan of dairy, so I don't have dairy in my diet anyways.
Yeah. It actually makes it worse it
causes inflammation, I feel like, and it doesn't fit well in my stomach. So I've just cut out dairy altogether. Yeah. Maybe I'll have like a slice of cheese sometimes, but that's just because it's around in the house and the kids are around.
I'm not too much of a fan of dairy product as well too, because in a way it's processed food. So I try to limit that. And I noticed that kidney stones also it's a higher prevalence when if you're actually eating more dairy products,
Dairy,
right?
yes.
So, but anyways, so some of those tips are helpful. Thanks,
Yeah. And
Blenda.
then the last one, the last deficiency, I know we've gone on and on about this, but
Yeah.
like the next one is potassium.
Yes.
That's one supports heart function,
Yeah.
nerves, muscle. Um, if you have a fluid imbalance,
Yeah.
you often need to balance your electrolytes.
Yeah.
So if you're excessively sweating, something like diarrhea, vomiting, you need to replace
Yeah.
the electrolytes missing from your body.
Yeah.
So something like coconut water, which we've talked about before,
Love it.
found in bananas, sweet
Yeah.
potato, broccoli, those things you could add to your diet. And
Yeah.
that way you don't have that potassium imbalance or electrolyte imbalance.
Yeah.
Don't drink Gatorade because it's not, it's actually full of sugar. People were like, oh, it's a sports drink. It's really highly marketed.
Yeah.
You know, marketing for that company, they do a great job, of course,
Yeah.
right?
It's a temporary solution because for those who are unable to take in because they've been vomiting, at least better to take something in for the fluid and the content than nothing. That's really what it is.
Yeah.
But like Blenda said, it does have a lot of sugar content in it. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of that, the sports drink so much. Sometimes I like another sports drink, but that's another brand. And if you want to know, just ask me.
Yeah.
Yeah, the whole foods diet actually helps with all deficiencies. And of course, yes, you know, you could fill in the missing gaps with some supplementations, but that's individualized. So like if you do need help, reach out to someone that could help you with that for sure.
Blenda.
I love supplementation. It's good. It's good.
Yeah.
Supplements are good.
Okay, so what is the next thing like another thing that caused us to be having low energy?
Sleep disturbances. How many times have you walked into work and be like, oh, I didn't sleep well? Like a lot of people say that to me.
Yeah.
A lot of people say that. And you know, when you don't sleep well one night, it's a effect for tomorrow, right? Like you feel it, you know, if you don't sleep well, it causes low energy. Right?
So how much is like how many hours is an adequate amount of sleep?
So everybody's different.
Yeah.
I mean, I could sleep anywhere between 10 to 12 hours if I could. But now that I have kids, and
you have the time, come on.
I don't have the time to sleep that much. So I would say I sleep anywhere between 6 to 8 hours every night.
Wow, that's good.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
and then it, you know, like it's good for the eyes too. Like you get to rest, and the lack of sleep will cause you to be tired, but you know you need to sleep because it has a detoxing effect, right? Your cells are regenerating. You need to rest. For hormone production, you need your rest in order to function day to day, but not just for that, but also for your body to recover and restore itself.
Yeah, no, that's true. I have to say that is something that I have personally an issue with, not so much of falling asleep, but the amount of time of sleeping, because I'm such a busybody person, but I'm learning my ways.
You're getting better at it. I know you are.
I have other ways to increase my energy level, you know?
Yes.
And so it kind of
that's helping. It's like a scale, right? It's about you find balance in one way or another. You find balance. Yeah. So make sure you're getting enough sleep. Okay. And if you need, and some people do need that assistance with sleep, like that winding down. So less blue light, of course, like try less blue light 30 minutes before bedtime. So no TV, no cell phone, read a book, right? I know we talk about certain authors, and I'm reading James Clear Atomic Habits right now, and they talk about habit stacking. So when you're making your bed, in the morning, if you make your bed. Like I like to make my bed.
I make my bed.
Yeah, I make my bed every day.
Yeah.
So when you make your bed, put a book on top of your pillow.
Yeah.
That way you're more likely to pick up that book.
Yeah.
In the middle at night, like right when you're ready for bed. You're like, oh, I'm going to read. I'm not going to turn on that TV. I'm not going to reach for my cell phone.
Yeah.
You can read a book or you could journal.
Yeah. I love journaling. And also I find what's useful for to improve my sleep, exercising. Whenever I exercise, I always sleep better. Like, you know, it's just one of those things where it helps you relax your body and gives you good energy at the same time, right?
Yes. And I find like at the end of the night, I need to wind down. I just do a quick flow, a yoga flow.
Deep breathing.
And then I do some meditation, do some breathing. And then when you're in your shavasana, like you, instead of like lying down on the mat, you lie down on the bed and you just go to bed.
Yeah.
Just rest.
That's awesome. Okay, so what's another tip in terms of, or another reason why we have like low energy?
Low energy. Too much caffeine. Sometimes we have too much caffeine in our body and it's a vicious cycle.
Yeah.
And because it's a stimulus.
Stimulant, and it's caused your body to go on hyper mode.
Yeah.
And once that it's out of your system, sorry, I had to do that.
And then you crash. A lot of people have like the 3 p.m. crash.
Yeah.
And they're like reaching for the next cup of joe.
Yeah.
You know, I know you really want to, but try not to. It's hard to tell. It's hard to say it because I don't do it and I'm not a coffee drinker. And I know, Jenny, I know you're not. You know, coffee is just, you know, over time, it'll lead to more fatigue.
Yeah.
So I don't know. What else can we do? I mean, I like to reach for a cup of green tea.
Yeah.
That's what I do. What about you, Jenny? What else do you think is good?
Well, for me, instead of having the caffeine, I like I said, I'm like one of those natural people where, you know what, I get my energy off fruits, right? So that in itself has this nutrient and it gives you the sugar rush and with the nutrient, right? So I like that. I like to stay hydrated, positive thinking, right? Move my body, right? Because you know, when you're moving your body, even just a little bit, when you feel like, oh, I'm falling asleep, just get up, move your body. This is what we did. There's this story that while we're at work, you know, it was about like 2-3 p.m. and there's a lot of patients. So what I suggest to the staff, we work as a team in that area, the emergency department. What I suggest is that why don't we all of us take turn in terms of going for a 5-minute mental break walk, right? Because that gives you a little bit of movement. It circulates your body, the blood flow. And when they came back, oh my gosh, when they came back, they were like, I'm refreshed, good, I'm ready to go.
I'm ready to go for the next half of my shift, right?
Yeah, no coffee needed. And we all felt so good, right? So that's what I find some of the natural way of doing it. It doesn't have to be coffee. Because when you drink a lot of coffee, okay, this is what I noticed with my husband. He used to he cut down his coffee, but prior to recently, he drinks like 2, sometimes even 3 cups of coffee. And on the days he's not working, he doesn't drink as much coffee. And then he's like, I have a headache. He built a tolerance to it, and it's almost like a mini addiction that he became dependent on the coffee, that if he didn't have it, he gets a headache. So I was like, did you have your coffee? No. Why don't you drink your coffee and see how it's like? His headache's gone after the coffee. So this is the thing.
I just feel like caffeine over time is just not good for your body. Like over time, you build up a tolerance for it. So instead of drinking 1 cup, you're having 2, then you're having 3. Then you're just needing more and more coffee. And then instead of getting a small cup, you get a larger cup. Yeah. It's like addiction. It is.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. Like if you can use a different path,
why would you?
A healthier, long-term sustainable path, why not, right?
Yeah,
Something that
I
works
think
for us.
I think it's worth giving it a try.
Yeah,
And then the more coffee you drink, the more you have to go urinate, right? And then it causes more fluid loss. So
yeah,
it's just a vicious cycle once again. Yeah.
yeah. We're just saying these, we're sharing these ideas because it has worked for us. Because Blenda doesn't drink coffee, neither do I. So, and I think I have high energy, so I don't know. So
You have good energy. I feel like you really do. I love
yeah,
your
because I
energy.
do all these other things
Yeah.
for
Yeah.
sustainable, like long term, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
True. First thing I do in the morning is like I go for a walk first thing in the morning.
See, move your body, move your body.
Grab another parent to go with you. You could go on your own. When I go on my own, I start like thinking and talking and setting my intentions for the day.
Yeah.
That's what I do.
Yeah. See, great. Okay, so what's another, is there another
Yeah, the
condition?
last one,
Yeah, what is it?
chronic stress.
Oh.
I know a lot of us are like,
I don't want that in my system.
I know a lot of people are like, I'm so stressed.
Yeah.
And we're always just chasing our tail, like to manage our stress. Stress
Yeah.
management is key.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So how do we do that?
So prioritize your day,
Okay.
right? Like what's important for the day, do it.
Yeah.
Sometimes we are taking on more than we need to. So we say yes to everybody. I know a lot of people are
Yeah.
people pleasers.
Especially the women.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm not saying men are bad or anything. It's just
We always
personal
want to
experience,
say,
personal thinking.
yeah. And sometimes we put too much on our plate and then we overwhelm ourselves.
Yeah.
And then we just don't know how to say no to things.
Yes.
And then you're always playing catch up, right? Like,
Yeah.
and then it's one causes another effect. And then you're just you keep on thinking and you keep on putting things into place, but then you're just playing catch up. So you need to just manage your time properly and manage your stress properly. And there could be other ways to manage your stress. Like some people turn to poor habits. Some people turn to better habits.
Yeah.
But definitely
that's not managing their stress if they're going to turn to poor habits, because it'll lead to another poor habit.
Yeah, it's going to link to another poor habit. So definitely, if you need help with stress management, you could seek the help, or you could just start prioritizing what's important to you. Chronic stress over time depletes nutrients from your body. It could harm you. So that's when you need to figure out what's best for your body and put yourself first.
Yeah, it's true. That's what I noticed in terms of a lot of times stress causes a lot of illness to the body and the mind as well too. So like Blenda said, it does deplete a lot of energy from you and a lot of nutrients. So that's why we feel so low in energy when we're dealing with stress. But there are different ways to handle it, right? So I think, let's say if you're overwhelmed with something, break that project or that thing into pieces. So let's say you have, okay, I have this big, massive project that I have to do. Break it into chunks, right? Tackle one at a time. In terms of prioritizing, okay, this is what it is. A lot of people focus on things that are not important. And I find that it's better that I focus on what works for me is that I list 3 things during the day. That must be done for me, right? So what is it? So my top priority is A, B, C. So get those done. And then what are my lesser priority components? So if I don't get those done, not a big deal, but I have to get the A, B, C done. So because that's the priority, that's the importance of it, right? Mm-hmm. And in terms of another tips of managing stress is that, a lot of it, I think, is being able to regulate our emotional well-being, right? So when we, like what Blenda said about taking on too much, sometimes it's okay to say no, right? It's not about adding more things. And if we add something, we have to find out, is it actually helping us or is it taking away from us? If it's taking away from us, do we really need that? Chances are no.
No, yes, we don't need extra
right?
on our plate, right?
Yeah. So it's how we learn how to cope with it. And I think a lot of times people are really smart. You know, people really know what it is that they want. And if you don't know what you want, make a list of what you don't want and then don't do that stuff. You know,
That's true too.
don't
Yeah.
do that.
Yeah.
Okay, let's say if you want good health, well, don't go smoke, go drinking, or like do all that other stuff that's causing it, right? That can make you more stressed out, right?
Yeah.
You know, some of the things like that, right?
Yeah, I
So,
know. And with time management, I know a lot of us are like, oh, I need to do something, but they procrastinate and they think of a million other reasons why they don't want
don't
to do it.
procrastinate.
Yeah. I mean, I used to be like a chronic procrastinator. Now I'm not. I'm very go-getter. But you know, you make up all
Oh,
the reasons why you don't want to do something, right? You're like,
yeah,
oh, I don't want to do it because it's raining. I don't want to do it because I feel tired. I don't
yeah,
want to do it because, oh, what happens if I do this and another thing? You're just making up excuses. Stop doing that, you
yeah.
know?
Well, this is what I find works for me. Like what Blenda's saying. I used to, when I was younger, especially when I was younger and as I progress, as I get older, I make less and less excuses. And I just tell myself, you know what? Okay, what needs to be done? Do it. Get
Yeah.
it done out of the way. And
Yeah.
then that's it. Because just the thought of it,
Yes,
overthinking
overthinking it.
that whatever you have to do. In
Yeah.
my experience, when I'm overthinking it, I feel more tired and then I don't even get it done.
Yeah.
Whereas if I'm like, okay, well, I have this thing coming up. What do I need to do? Okay, so do my A, my B, my C. Done. Okay, all right. Tomorrow, A, B, C. Done. Just
You're so productive. I tell you, I'll give you a hand for that, man.
oh,
Wow. I love listening to you talk about that. So
oh, okay.
productive.
Thanks. I guess through experience, you know, like I'm not that smart, but I had to learn how to use other techniques or other ways so that I can be productive, you know?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so
Good. Good, Jenny.
yeah. Is there anything else that you want to mention?
Well, those are like the five main things that would,
Hmm.
you know, cause you to have low energy. You know, and
Yeah.
we gave you some examples of how to combat that
Yes.
through lifestyle changes, through better eating
Yeah.
habits, with more activity. Those are some easy things that you could add into your everyday life. Give it
Yeah.
a try.
Yeah. One last tip. Believe in yourself. You can do these things. And because you know what, there's a lot of life situation that happens. It's about how you handle it, how you cope with it. You can do it one step at a time, little by little. It's about changing from what I can't do to what I can do. And that makes a big difference in terms of your energy level. So that's going to help you a lot.
That's amazing, Jenny. Thank you for
Oh,
sharing that.
okay, so I hope you guys like our tips that we give on in terms of how to help with increasing your energy level. I mean, we want to make it so that you're able to have that energy to do what it is that is best for your life. And also, if you have kids, best for your kids and your family and the community as well, too. Okay, well, thank you very much for joining us. Have a great
Thank
day.
you. Bye now.